The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Hello, I'm Mike O'Sullivan, CEO of One South Coast Chamber, and this is the One South Coast Chamber Business Connection, and I'm joined today by Katie Green, our Vice President of Marketing and Events.
Happy New Year, Mike.
Happy New Year, Katie. It's great to see you. I've seen you a few times this week.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Had a couple weeks off over the holidays, and now we're back in action.
Yeah, vacation time is good. Holiday time is good. You get to see family, and you get to do things that you don't always normally get to do.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. So, Katie, why don't you tell me? I know December was kind of busy, but why don't you give me a little bit of a recap?
So December was really busy. The last time actually we were here filming our show was the end of November, and that was when we had Rick Kidder's retirement party that night. So I think we talked a little bit about it on the show, but Rick Kidder, our COO, has set off into retirement. Lucky him. We're so happy for him, but we had a nice party for him. And one of the reasons for the party was to establish the Rick Kidder Scholarship Fund. So this is a new initiative we're going to be working on over the next year or so, and these scholarships will be provided to South Coast students.
Yeah, that was very exciting, and we were able to raise over $3,000 in one night.
In one night, yeah.
Without really aggressively pursuing, which was really nice to be able to do. That was very exciting, and it was a lot of fun. The party was great. We were able to surprise Rick with a few things.
Yes.
The video, we did a video actually with our friends from Fall River Community Media,
Yes.
who did a fantastic job with the video, and Rick did not know it was coming, and it really came out fantastic.
It was great. It was a nice way for all of the people in the community to get to say goodbye and wish him well. I got teary-eyed. I definitely did, quite a few times. But that was pretty much me the entire month of December. Every time Rick said it was his last this or his last that. And it was his last annual meeting. And that was in the middle of December, our annual meeting where we held our Brayton Apex and Ambassador of the Year award as well. And we had some changes this year in the executive committee for our annual meeting.
Yes, Eileen Danahy, who did a fantastic job the last 2 years as our board chair, is now the immediate past chair. And Eileen has been with the chamber and on the chamber board for quite a long time. In fact, she was the chair of the search committee when I was hired originally. So I'm a big fan of Eileen's, obviously.
We all are. We all are.
Yes. But she turned the reins over to Rose Lopes, who is one of the managing partners at the Alera Group, Sylvia Group,
Yeah.
in Dartmouth. And Rose is terrific, and she's going to be a great board chair.
She's awesome. She's really awesome.
Really high energy. She is a former military person,
Yes.
so she's a lot more disciplined.
She does. She has an interesting background, and she's our first Cape Verdean to lead the chamber.
Yeah, it's going to be terrific. She just brings new energy, new perspective, new experience that we haven't seen at the chamber. I don't want to say ever, because ever is pretty long when you're well over 100 years old, but she brings some really great experience and perspective, which is really exciting for us and for me in particular. So we're really looking forward to that. They've done a great job.
Yeah.
But of course, we gave away the awards, which is always the exciting part of that night.
We gave away 11 awards that day. We had 6 Brayton recipients, and that's named after John S. Brayton, who was very involved with the chamber when he was alive and did a lot for the community. So that's for people who, we award them for everything they do in the community, for giving back. So we gave away 6 of those. Joe Nauman was a recipient, along with Dave and Kim Barabee. They're out of Somerset. Jim Oliveira, Liz Carpenter, and Sharon McInnes. Those were our 6 recipients of that award. And then we also do the Apex Awards, which is for businesses who they're doing all this great work in our community. We have 4 categories for the Apex Awards. We have education, nonprofit, large business, and small business. So for education this year, Diamond Regional Vocational Technical High School was our recipient of the Education Apex Award. And then the United Way of Greater New Bedford, they received our nonprofit award. Tropical Smoothie Cafe, based out of Dartmouth and Fairhaven, they got our Small Business Award. And then lastly, Bristol Community College, they got the Large Business Award. So congratulations to all of those recipients.
Yeah, all the recipients were all well deserved.
Yes.
The Brayton Award winners are just fantastic. When you consider the number of volunteer hours those folks put in, it's probably in the hundreds.
Oh, for sure.
That easily in the hundreds that really has benefited all of the South Coast. It's exciting. And then the business awards, it's great to see our small businesses who are our bread and butter, to see them do very well. So Tropical Smoothie, Phoenix, it's great to see them. And then and of course the United Way is always a leader in the community.
Absolutely.
Which Rick Kidder was the chair of their.
That's right.
Or is the chair.
The newly elected chair for this season, for the fundraising season.
Yeah, for their campaign fund, which is exciting. And then, of course, we can't not talk about the Bristol Community College, because we actually got to, before we gave out the awards, it wasn't before we voted on the awards, but before we gave out the awards, we got to see them. We got to see the National Offshore Wind Institute.
Yes, that was so cool. That was a really cool tour. We did that about a week before, I think it was.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's in New Bedford, and what a cool facility. That was a fun day. Just getting to see this great new initiative that Bristol Community College has brought to the South Coast.
Yeah, and it's really, I mean, I think it's a great example, and I have said this to her personally, but I think it's a great example of the great work that Dr. Douglas is doing as the president of Bristol Community College. And of course, there's so many great people that work with her and are really implementing lots of the plans. But you know, there's funding, there's state funding involved in it. You know, Jen Menard has really done a lot of work, as did Steve Kenyon. Last time I saw Steve Kenyon, he was really excited for the last piece of paperwork to come from the state so they could start operating, as is Jen. And Jessica Trombley has joined as the executive director of NAUI. So there's some just great people. But what really excites me about the whole NAUI thing is how the community college took the lead in figuring out how these folks get trained.
Right.
And you don't see that often across the country with many community colleges, and I think that Dr. Douglas and all of her team and all the folks here did a great job stepping up and making NAUI happen. And then of course we got to go see it.
Yeah.
And I still want to see Rick Kidder in that in the helicopter. They have the helicopter that teaches you, or will teach people, how to handle it if the helicopter happens to go down over the water.
Right, they have a pool right there.
Yeah, there's a pool right there, which is the holdup. They're waiting to get the approval on the pool to utilize the pool. And it may have come through, because I haven't talked to Steve in a while. But it's there. I know they were waiting on that, but you look at it and I just can't imagine being in a helicopter upside down in a pool.
No, me either.
Can't.
I don't think we're cut out for that job.
No, definitely not me. And when I was a kid, a lot of people don't know this. When I was a kid in college, I was a lifeguard at the Jersey Shore, and so I'm not the swimmer I was then, but I don't even think back then I would have gone on this thing and let him shake me up and see what happens. But it really, the important thing is it's a great example of the great work that's happening right here on the South Coast, to support new industry like like Vineyard Wind and just the general offshore wind industry. It's really exciting to be able to give away those awards. Are fantastic.
Yeah, and I don't want us to forget about our Ambassador of the Year, Albert Moy, who he's been an ambassador with the Chamber for a long time. We were talking about volunteering a few minutes ago. He is always volunteering to help us whenever he can. I think Albert is at almost every single one of our events, and if he can't make it, it's because he has a really good excuse why, because he always makes an effort to be at our Chamber events and help support us, and we were so honored to be able to award him with the Pete Wild Ambassador Award.
Yeah, it's always exciting to be able to give away that award, and Albert has been fantastic. He really, he's just a wonderful person.
He is.
And he gives so much to the Chamber, and then you should follow him. Everybody should follow him on social media because he's a diehard foodie.
He sure is.
And he goes to the best restaurants, and he's a great cook.
He is.
And you ask him about the food that he's cooking, and if you're like me on a low sodium diet, he says, Mike, don't worry about it. When he's making all the different meals, he says, I use low sodium, I do all the right things, because, he says, I'm like everybody else.
Yeah.
I have to worry about my health and my family's health, and so he's really a great cook and just a great guy. So it was really exciting to honor Albert. And the day I told him that he was the winner of the award, he thought he was in trouble, and which never would have happened.
No, never. To know him is to love him. That's for sure.
Yeah, that is a great way to phrase it. So yeah, we're excited, and that's when we combined the annual meeting and the awards a couple years ago, that made the annual meeting so much more fun and so much more exciting.
Right.
Because it's a little bit of chamber business, and it's a lot of honoring members.
Absolutely, absolutely, and congratulations once again to all of our 2023 recipients.
Yeah.
So then, a few days before that, I'm all over the place with my calendar. We had our holiday business after hours, where we pulled our holiday raffle winners. We gave away 3 grand prizes. We had a $1,000 winner, that was Jill Santana. We had a $2,500 winner, that was Derek Mitchell. And then we had the big $10,000 winner, and that went to our friend, Jeff Pagliuca from Bristol County Savings Bank.
Let me tell you, Jeff had another event that night, so he couldn't be there. And normally we try to reach out to whoever the winner is right away. And so between myself and Rick and you and nobody actually notified Jeff to tell him. And the next morning we said, did anybody actually tell Jeff and that he won? And the answer was no. So I left him a voicemail. And of course, Rick was in the background yelling into the phone about, congratulations, you're lucky, with a few words. And anyway, so the voicemail that I got back from Jeff said, oh my God, I had no idea. And he says, that is the greatest voicemail anybody could ever get.
Absolutely.
And I said, well, I think you're probably right, because who gets voicemails saying that you legitimately won $10,000?
You could have a new job as the new Ed McMahon.
There you go.
Mike's new version of Publishers
There's a lot of people who
Clearinghouse.
don't remember who Ed McMahon is.
I know.
But that was exciting. It was a lot of fun to be able to deliver that message, and it was a lot of fun. It's always exciting stuff.
And that pretty much wrapped up our events. We had our bi-monthly women's lunch at the second Friday of the month, the 16th or 15th, I believe it was, and that was our last women's lunch of the year. We've got some new ones in the works, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But that was it. That was the end of our events. We had the last 2 weeks to kind of decompress and take some time off and get geared up for all the new stuff happening in 2024.
Well, you mentioned the women's lunch, and I think it's important for us to tell people to go to our Facebook page and look for the video that you guys did about the women's lunch throughout the year, and because you and Kristen Gomes have done a fantastic job with that. I know we're not allowed to be there.
No boys allowed.
But that's okay. That's okay, because if we can pull off successful events and I don't have to be involved in it, that's great leadership from my perspective. You may not believe so. But go look at the video, because it really is a great video, and it got a lot of great play and a lot of great feedback on social media. So it was exciting to see that as well. So congratulations on that.
Thank
because
you.
You and Kristen really earned it on that, in that regard.
Thanks. We have a lot of fun doing it. That's for sure.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit about governance, and last month we thanked Nick Christ, who had a lot of great years as a board member for the chamber, and we have the one new board member that we have this year is Marie Pellegrino, and she's just she's going to do great, and she is the CFO at Bay Coast Bank. We always like to have Bay Coast Bank involved, and they're such a great partner. It's really nice to have one of the leaders there step in for Nick, who has decided he's done it long enough, been on our board long enough, and we could never express our gratitude for all the things that he's done over the year. So, and when we talked about Eileen and we talked about Rose, so those are just sort of the transitions through. But we also have government affairs.
We do.
And we have a lot of great stuff.
We're bringing it back.
We are really bringing it back, and we're very excited about it. And I think maybe next time we'll bring Ian Trombley on the show, where he can talk a little bit about it. But we hired Ian Trombley back in October, or he started in October as our Vice President of Public Policy. And he's a lot of fun to work with. He's a great guy, but he really has great experience in the government affairs arena. He's got experience, I forget exactly how many years, but he's worked in Congressman Keating's office.
Yes.
He has worked at South Coast Health in government affairs for our good friend Bill Burns, where he learned a lot of great stuff. And now he's really taking all of the government affairs for the entire South Coast and bringing it together. And he's working with legislators from both ends of the South Coast. He's working with all the local officials in all of the in the cities, and he's working to bring the folks from the towns together as well. So and he's really putting together, as you saw earlier in the week, an incredibly robust plan to be able to bring people together. It's going to have local meetings and events. It's going to have state legislator meetings and events, and it's going to have federal impacts. And we're going to get together multiple times. We haven't ironed it all out just yet, so next month when he comes, he should be able to say, this is really exactly what we're looking at, which will be exciting, I think. But it's going to be a lot of some of it's going to be a lot of the formats that the Bristol County Chamber and the old Fall River Chamber used to use, which is maybe a little bit closed door, but it gives the membership a great opportunity to have good, candid conversations with the legislators.
Right.
And the legislators want that feedback. A lot of people, a lot of legislators don't necessarily want to hear all that feedback, especially at the level sometimes they get it at these meetings. But it's not contentious. It's meetings that are, people really hear what the concerns are. And so we're gonna do that with the state legislators. We're gonna get, depending upon the topics, we're gonna have the local leaders together. It may be elected folks, it may be the town administrators, because sometimes the town administrators really have a great impact on those things as well. And then of course there's always the cities, and sometimes it's going to be, we may try to bring the cities and some of the state legislators together for, because they all need to work together as well. And
Right.
some communities, they work better together than others, and everybody has their own dynamic and that sort of thing. And Paul Chase this year is our new chair of the committee. He served as kind of the chair in waiting for a couple of years under Bill Burns, but Paul's the president of the Real Estate Association of Southeastern Mass, and he's got great knowledge and understanding of how an association can work with government affairs and build a really strong government affairs agenda. Ian and I have met with Paul. We've had lots of email conversations with Paul, and he's excited. He's enthusiastic. He's ready to be a great chair and to help. And so, I'm excited about all the things that we have going into this year with the chamber. But I feel like an area where we're really going to boom and excel is in government affairs. I think Ian's going to do a great job, and that's not to downgrade anything else that we're doing.
No.
It's just, I think there's just, when we went through our strategic planning process, this time last year and back in late 22, government affairs came up big. Government affairs came up big as an area that everybody thought we needed to strengthen ourselves. The board felt we needed to strengthen ourselves. Mm-hmm. Some of the longer term members still voiced their opinion and give us good guidance on how we should handle that. And which is why through the transition we ended up hiring Ian. He's not replacing Rick. He's filling a different role, but that was the role where we needed and felt like we could shift everything.
Right.
So that was really good stuff.
Yeah, big things happening for sure.
So do you want to tell us a little bit about where we are with the National Grid program, and then we can go into events?
So the holiday raffle's over, but we're still giving away money.
That's right.
We love giving away money at One South Coast Chamber. Back in the summer, National Grid told us that we were one of, I'm not sure how many, eight chambers in Massachusetts that they were going to give $100,000 each to, and then we, in turn, would be able to give out $1,000 grants to our small business members. So as of now, as of recording this, I think we have about $30,000 left to give out. So that's 30 small businesses. The caveat is you have to be a National Grid customer. Your business has to be a National Grid customer. But that's pretty much it. It's a super simple application. You just fill out the application. It's a one-pager. Upload your National Grid bill and a W-9, and that's it. And it's been a great program. Everybody who has been a recipient of that $1,000 grant so far has been so grateful. And we want to give away the other $30,000. So go on our website at onesouthcoast.com. If you are a small business owner, if you're a chamber member, if you're not a chamber member, you can certainly join the chamber just to get that $1,000 grant.
Yeah, it's, it is really exciting to be able to do that. And, some of like Carl Sueco Communications in Swansea and Somerset, he got the $1,000, but he didn't even put it to use to his business. He donated it to the Swansea Animal Shelter.
Right.
And you can do what you want with the money, and that's that's exciting. That's exciting in and of itself. But it's there is one other caveat. It started out that it was you had to have no more than 50 employees, but we raised it to 150 employees. But they just need to go for it. There is no other, don't worry about whether you're going to be taxed on the money, because I don't think you're going to be taxed on it, but I'm not a tax accountant, so.
Don't quote Mike O'Sullivan on that one.
but really, a lot of people worry, like they always worry. Somebody's handing me $1,000. Use it to pay your electric bill for the winter.
Several of our members who have been recipients of it have used it to pay their electric bills.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's going right back to National Grid, but that's okay, because that's one less bill that they'll have to worry about.
Yeah, it's take advantage of it. Really, take advantage of it. There's really no reason not to. Just if you have any questions, let us know. Otherwise, just go on onesouthcoast.com and apply. Yeah, it's exciting.
So
it's great stuff.
Before we wrap it up, I'll give a quick rundown of not all, but our soon-to-be events that are coming up. This month on January 25th, we're holding our second annual DEI Business After Hours. And for anyone who doesn't know what DEI means it's diversity, equity, and inclusion. So what we do is we want to bring in diverse business owners on the South Coast to network with the chamber, other chamber members, in hopes to provide them new opportunities, and also to show them what the chamber can do for them, what we have to offer. So that's going to be on January 25th at the UMass School of Law in Dartmouth, from 5 to 7. So, and that's open to everyone, that you don't have to be a member of the chamber to attend. This is open to everyone. So you can register for that on our website, onesouthcoast.com. And then we're having our South Coast Business Builders Breakfast on February 7th at Mike. I think it's one of our favorite places. If you know me or if you know Mike, chances are you know we both have an extreme sweet tooth. So we're going to be at Dorothy Cox Candies on Griffin Street in Fall River. We've done this in the past. Fran and Shirley, who run that facility, do an incredible job. They give you a tour of the facility. They give you some samples. Mike and I are literally like kids in a candy store. It's an incredible morning. It's so cool to see the process of how they do things and to taste the candy. So
yeah, well, tasting the candy is probably a little bit better than watching the process.
Yeah.
But watching the process is awesome.
It's cool. It's super cool.
It's really, really cool.
Yeah.
And they've been in there a few years now, and they've really, they've made a lot of progress. And it's just they're doing great, and we can't wait to be there. It's going to be fun, and if you have any interest in chocolate, you should be there. As I said to some of our board members earlier in the week, I said, that's only a week before Valentine's Day, so you might as well come and go to the Business Builders Breakfast and buy some chocolates and bring it home to your wife.
Happy wife, happy life.
There you go.
All right. So, speaking of Valentine's Day, do you know what Galentine's Day is, Mike?
I've heard this. I'm sure you said this to me last year.
I probably did.
I forgot what it is.
I probably did. Galentine's Day is where women celebrate women. Me and my group of girlfriends, we celebrate it every year. But because we're having our bi-monthly women's power lunch in February, we are doing a Galentine's Day theme again. We did it last year, and it's so fun. So it's just women supporting other women and lifting each other up, and it's a great time. So that's going to be on February 16th. And then lastly, our job fair is going to be March 14th. We hold 2 of these a year, one in the winter, one in the fall. It's going to be at White's from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. It is free for any job seeker to attend, which is great. Employers, if you're interested, if you're hiring, you want a table, you can purchase one on our website, onesouthcoast.com. And then Mass Hire Bristol and Mass Hire Greater New Bedford are both in attendance. They will help any job seekers get registered, so you are on their list, their email list of upcoming jobs or available jobs on the South Coast. So we hope to see anybody, if you're underemployed or not employed at all, come to the job fair. It's a great time.
Yeah, it's a great time, and there are some great businesses that are there.
Absolutely.
So that pretty much brings us to a close. So Happy New Year, everybody. We're looking forward to a great year. I'm Mike O'Sullivan, and this is Katie Green with One South Coast Chamber, and thank you for having us.
Thank you.